Today, I'm gonna make one of my kids' all-time favorite dishes. I'm going to make a sugar cinnamon crepe cake, but we're also gonna do it with an apple compote, all on the Flatrock Grill. So step one to this delicious recipe is to actually assemble the batter. Just a few ingredients, really easy. We've got some milk, pour that in carefully. We're gonna put in some cream for some richness and some delicious textures. I've got some vanilla in here. You can swap out bourbon too, for the record. You wanna take your eggs, and there's quite a few of them in here, and that's gonna give it that lovely texture. So I've got 5 eggs. You like a really eggy batter, you could actually put in 6. Just make sure they're super fresh. Then you wanna give this a really good whisk, okay? And the reason is that we really do wanna make sure that that egg is really well incorporated into that batter. If you're at home and you're doing this, you know what you can do? You can actually put it all into a blender and blitz it. Grab a good sifter. Here we've got our flour, and then I've also got my salt. So the flour and the salt goes right in there. Grab a spatula, okay, or a wooden spoon, and you wanna tap this into there and make sure that we've got a lump-free batter. Super important. You wanna start mixing this all together very carefully. And then once you get all the sides kind of wiped down and get it kind of sort of incorporated, that's when you wanna come in with your whisk. And keep whisking until it's nice and smooth. So once your batter's all incorporated, what you wanna do is cover this with some plastic wrap and then get to the fridge. So the next component of this delicious dish is actually just making the compote. I've got a couple apples here. You can use whatever kind of apples you want. And hey, if you don't like apples, you can use plums or pears or even blueberries. So the key is though, is that if you're making a compote, one of the components that's really important is actually to make the cubes all the same size, because you don't want some pieces of the apple smushy and the others to be hard as a rock. Make some planks that are about the same size, and then I'm gonna put them on their side. We're trying to be as consistent as possible. So once you have your cubes, get them into a bowl. We're gonna get this all over to the grill, right over here. One last step. Paper towel, white sugar, lots of cinnamon, bowl to mix. Get a whisk, once again, so we don't have any lumps, and this is how we do it. We pour our white sugar in, just like that. Take your whisk, break up any clumps first before you add the cinnamon. Then add your cinnamon in. Get that all really well mixed. My grandmother taught me this, okay? Grab a paper towel, make a funnel out of the paper towel, take your cinnamon sugar, and just gradually pull it up, nice and careful, and look. Now, I have a rested batter here. It's been in the fridge overnight. It is completely lump-free. I've got my cinnamon sugar. We've got everything ready to go to the grill. Remember, this is quick cooking. So I've got my Flatrock heating up, actually, all my elements, all my 3 zones. So I've got this one on low, and I've got this one over here, which is where I'm gonna be cooking the compote on medium. I've got my pan on here. It's preheating, getting ready to go. I've got my ingredients for my compote here, so we're gonna just pop those up there. And then I've got my pan here for all of my finished crepes on this side. So basically, we've established 2 different sides. One for finished product, one for raw product. It's a really good practice to get into. So let's start with the butter, get it all nicely melted up. Now that our butter is melted, what you wanna do is you wanna pop in your apples, give them a toss so they get coated with all that buttery goodness. You wanna go in with your salt, just like that. Go in with a little bit of sugar, more cinnamon, of course, because cinnamon apples, perfect pairing. And then here is a key thing for me. It is all about that maple syrup. Lots and lots of good maple syrup. Not only does it get sweet, it'll actually help thicken it up and make a beautiful, beautiful texture to the compote. Grab a pair of tongs, and now I'm gonna melt some butter directly onto the griddle so that we can make some delicious crepes. You wanna spread that butter out. And you know, while we're cooking the crepes, every once in a while, go back to the compote, give it a little stir. All right, so we've got our crepe batter. First crepe going down. And you're gonna see it bubble, and it's gonna be delicious. One of the key things that you need to pay attention to when it comes to doing crepes on this griddle is that the edges will get all bumpy. They're lovely. And then you're gonna notice it gets a little drier in the center. When you reach that moment, and it's just a couple of minutes, you know it's time to flip. Our compote is now bubbling hot, and it's gonna start to reduce down now. So we're just about ready to flip our first crepe. It's just dry to the touch, and you can actually visually see it. When that happens, it's time to flip your crepe. Now take a look at this. Look at how even and golden it is from one side to the other, and that's really brilliant. That's what you want. Once you flip them, literally count to like 15 seconds. That's all it takes to finish that other side. Because 90% to 95% of the cooking is actually done on that one side alone. So let's get them off the grill. All right, crepes are just coming off. Next thing you need to do, grab that shaker of cinnamon sugar, make sure the lid's on tight first of all, and come in and be very generous with all of that cinnamon sugary goodness. And now it's time to make more crepes. Keep going. Grab your crepe batter again. A little dry, golden brown all around, perfect crepe. 15 seconds, pull it off. Go to our holding area, and then of course, bring back that cinnamon sugar again, get them coated. And you'll notice I've got 4 different stacks here, because at the end, we're actually gonna take the 4 smaller stacks and make them into 1 large stack. One last coating, got that looking really good. We're gonna move it over here to our cutting board. Got our compote sitting down there. And now it is time to assemble all of this goodness. So let's get those to the cake stand. Little mini stacks make it a lot easier to assemble right at the end. Look how pretty that is. Got my compote here. And of course, it is time to cut this beautiful, beautiful stack up. Last step, of course, we made this delicious compote. All that apples, cinnamon, maple syrup goodness going on there. More cinnamon sugar. Get your fork in there, get your knife in there, get some of that delicious compote. Take a look at this. It tastes like my childhood. It's delicious and easy. Now for this and many more recipes, make sure you visit Traeger.com, as well, of course, the app.